Attorney Rowena Guanzon po, ang inyong lingkod. Kakatapos ko lang po sa rally sa Luneta ng Iglesia ni Cristo.
Live and in person, Attorney Rowena Guanzon!
Tama ba ang mga ginagawa nila sa ating bayan ngayon? Hindi tama! Hindi tama! Hindi tama! Ang mga tao pobre ay nakapila para makasakay lamang ng jeep o bus. 5 oras hanggang makauwi. Ang mga buhaya ay nakahelikopter. Sasakay ka ng tricycle. Ang tricycle driver nagbabayad ng tax. Bibili ka ng grocery, may tax. Bibili ka ng gamot, may tax. Bat sila ng bat. Ang isa dyan, tawagan nyo na talagang Batman.
At syempre, ang bombshell doon ay ang testimony ni Senator Amy Marcos na si Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. ay addict sa cocaine.
Noon, dahil may tatay pa kami, hindi ko pa siya responsibilidad. Noong tumatanda, ay mas naging nakakabahala. Batid ko na nagda-drug siya. Paghapon sila, lahat sila nagiinuman at gumagamit ng cocaine.
At ang kanyang asawa, ang ating First Lady,
Kinumbinsi ko pa si Bongbong, pakasalan mo na si Lisa. Naisip ko noon, kapag nag-asawa siya, malalagay na sa tahimik at magkakaroon ng direksyon. Ang laki ng pagkakamali ko. Mas lumala ang kanyang pagkalulong sa droga. Dahil parehas pala silang mag-asawa.
gayon din at kanilang mga anak.
Nalaman kong pati ang mga anak niya ay nagdodroga na. Kinasusuklaman ko pa ang pag-alok ng mag-inang si Sandro ng droga ang aking mga anak at iba pang mga kamag-anak. Yan ang hindi ko na mapapalampas.
Whether you believe Senator Amy Marcos or not, I know her personally. She was my seatmate for 1 year in 2 subjects. And she's always been a jolly person, always helpful, even when they were in power in Malacanang. And she was like any ordinary student. For me, it takes a lot of Amy to say this in public, that her brother, the President Bongbong Marcos Jr., is addicted to cocaine since he was 12 years old.
Bata pa lamang kami ni Bongbong. Alam na ng buong pamilya ang problema sa kanya. Sa totoo lang, mababasa naman ng lahat ang mga testimonya ng aking ama patungkol sa kanyang ugali at gawain.
Some senators say this should have been a quiet thing. They should have talked about this. They should have settled this among themselves. But this is a matter of public interest. You cannot just say, oh, settle it among yourselves. It's unfair for some people to say, me is damaging the economy by saying this, or that it's so un-Filipino of me to stab her brother in the back.
Hindi natin ugali yung Pilipino na ganyan. Tayo mga Pilipino, ganun di ba? Kasi masyado tayong close-knit yung ating pamilya. So, pag may away mo kapatid, nire-resolve natin with one parameter in the family circle.
I'd say, you're very un-Filipino if you do not love your country above all. I think Amy Marcos gave it enough time to bite her tongue, tiis-tiis yung ini-ignore siya ng brother niya, such that hindi na siya pumupunta sa Malacanang, at hindi na rin siya nag-attend ng mga family events pag nandun si Bongbong at ang ating First Lady, kahit andyan pa ang kanilang minamahal na ina. Well, let's backtrack. Before Bongbong Marcos was elected president, he was unemployed for 6 years because he lost to Leni Robredo for vice president. He was senator before that. But before that even, Bongbong Marcos had no visible and clear means of income. He's not a lawyer. He is not a head of some reputable business. He has no profession. And it was discovered that he lied, that he graduated from Princeton or Oxford.
Ano po yung ibinigay sa inyo? Certificate. na kayo ay
This is to certify that Ferdinand Marcos has completed a BA degree in social science.
Is it a BA degree, sir? Nakita ko doon ang sinulat ng Oxford is...
We can confirm that a Ferdinand Marcos matriculated at the University of Oxford in 1975 to read for a BA in philosophy and economics. According to our records, he did not complete his degree but was awarded a special diploma in social studies in 1978.
Nagpalit ako ng kurso. Sabi ko, politics, philosophy, and economics yan. Sabi ko, ang bagsak naman ito lagi, politics eh.
Pero is a special diploma and a degree the same?
Well, I don't, I suppose there are differences, but ang ending nun is that it is a bachelor's degree.
Still, he won the presidency. And so there we have it. What he didn't expect, what he didn't plan for, is that he was going to be president of a poor country, a country that needed a president who was not only hardworking, even if not brilliant, but honest and dedicated. Because what the Filipinos feared the most was an economic disaster under Bongbong Marcos.
The Philippine government's total outstanding debt soars to a fresh all-time high.
The Philippine government's total outstanding debt soars to a fresh all-time high.
The Philippine government's debt balloons to a new record high in October.
But we waited to see if he was up for the job. After all, he wanted it. Ito na yung saying na, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. So when he became president, he was overwhelmed with the task because he's never really had to work very hard. Come on. When he was Vice Governor of Ilocos Norte and he did not pay his taxes, his income taxes, which is why, in my opinion, in his Comelec case for disqualification, I rendered my opinion, which of course my vote was not counted, that he was disqualified from running for office because he was convicted 2 times for a crime involving moral turpitude, which is not paying his income taxes while he was governor. Because, you know, during martial law, they could do anything they wanted. Nobody was looking, nobody could protest. People who went against Ferdinand Marcos ended up disappearing or dead. Now, my friends in the left still have very vivid memories of martial law.
Hindi maaalis sa akin yung ginawa sa akin. Dahil tao naman ako, bakit ganyan ang ginawa nila? Ihayop nga, dapat hindi gawin na ganun. Pero tao. Eh sabi ko nga, si Marcos hindi tao.
Oh, back to Bongbong.
Bata pa lamang kami ni Bongbong. Alam na ng buong pamilya ang problema sa kanya.
If he has been on cocaine since he was 12, and he became president at 64, you can imagine all these many, many years of cocaine addiction. And what does it do to you? I do not have any addiction, but I asked friends who were on cocaine, and they said that the thing with cocaine is that it gives you a dopamine hit. So you get a quick high, but it will only last you for 15 minutes. And because it's only going to be for 15 minutes, you want more and more and more. So they end up, you know, till morning. And coupled with alcohol, that's a deadly combination. No, I don't know if you can flush that out of your system by going somewhere abroad and detoxifying your system. I don't know. But how many times in 3 years did we hear that somebody in Malacanang went abroad for whatever, or that took a break, or on leave from the public view? Because the difference between then and now is that he's president. He cannot hide from the people. He cannot hide from the cabinet. So he always has to, you know, perform. I met him when he was senator. He moved like Ferdinand Marcos. He tried hard to sound like Ferdinand Marcos. But when I saw him in the first 6 months in office as president, the difference was more than significant. Bongbong was stuttering.
Ako lang naman ang ginawang naggumawa ng Twitter is its own by themselves, is a private company.
He went like a mano.
Makita maya yung ama kayo ay mag-alamano.
His jaw was loose. He was incoherent even when he was in public. My apologies to those who have Tourette's syndrome. And there's the difference. That was only the first 6 months. Now we're on the third. And when he took over, our economy was not good, but it wasn't that bad. The second part of my talk, I'll show you how bad. Now, what's troubling about having a president who is on cocaine, which, by the way, will cost you 6,000 pesos per gram. So that's, I don't know how much that is per kilo, because they have to use so many grams a day and even up to morning without eating. When they stop snorting cocaine, I was told that these cocaine addicts binge. In the Philippines, cocaine addiction is prevalent. We just don't hear about it as much as shabu. Why? Because it's the rich people who are on cocaine. And, it's okay with them because it's part of their lifestyle. Lifestyle ka dyan. Kung cocaine addict ka, kahit gaano ka kagwapo, gaano ka katalino, gaano ka kayaman, wala ka. You cannot make good decisions. You cannot be in your right mind all waking hours. Ito pa, balita ko, yung mga nagko-cocaine na yan, nagwa-wife swapping yan eh. Tsaka girlfriend swapping. Ano? Di ba totoo? Kaya kayong nagko-cocaine kayo, yung mayayaman kayo, wag nyo nga kaming ma-etchos-etchos. We're on cocaine because we're rich. Bull. You're on cocaine because you're addicts. You don't say, I only take it once a week. Etchos, once a week ka dyan. Pag nagko-cocaine ka, you cannot stop. That's what I was told by drug addicts and recovering cocaine addicts and recovered drug addicts. Abay, mas okay pa sa inyo ang mga mentally ill people eh. Because they have no choice. Kayo, may mga choice kayo. Tsaka ang yayaman nyo. Alam mo, noon, hindi ko napansin yan eh. Hindi ko masyadong pinag-uusapan yan. Until BBM ran for president. Natakot ako. Tinilabutan ako. Although nobody said it up front that they had personal knowledge. Until Senator Amy Marcos came out. It was common knowledge. And even barkada, they all know. Ibang circles, in the circle nila ng mga rich people. It was common knowledge. Kinilabutan ako. We're gonna have a president who is a cocaine addict? Ninervyos ako. Pero sabi ko, baka naman. Because, you always hope for the country. Pero, what did Amy Marcos say? Now that he is severely addicted to cocaine, hindi na tama ang mga desisyon niya.
Yung bisyo niya na ang dahilan ng pagbaha ng korupsyon, kawalang direksyon, at maling-maling mga desisyon. Walang accountability, wala nang hustisya.
Sabi pa ni Amy, Bongbong, Bonget, ikaw pa ba yan?
Minsan, napapatanong ako sa sarili ko, ikaw pa ba yan? Si Bongbong ba talaga yung nakikita ko?
Because my friends, countrymen and countrywomen, what sets our president apart from all of us is the great responsibility to take care of all Filipinos, to make sure that our lives, especially the poor, are in good hands during calamities, floods, earthquakes, hunger. That's a major, major responsibility that Bongbong Marcos has never had before. He didn't have to choose his clothes, even. And that, I think, he could not bear. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. But the way I saw him deteriorating in public appearances, wow. I said, this man is not gonna last another 3 years. Will the Filipinos last another 3 years with Bongbong Marcos? Let's talk about that later. His rumored drug addiction was very obvious, such that in the campaign for Leni Robredo, you will remember that I went up the stage in several rallies. I was the only party list nominee who was invited to go up the stage in Leni Robredo's rallies in Cabanaba, and where I said,
Hindi kami bangag! Hindi kami bangag! Hindi kami bangag! Hindi kami bangag!
Hindi ako bangag. Si BBM bangag. Which is a, common term, di ba? We even use it as a joke. Ano ka ba? Bangag ka ba? Ba't hindi ka nagfo-focus dyan, di ba? Pero, kayong mga bumoto sa kanya, nagsisisi man kayo ngayon o hindi, alam nyo na. Saan tayo patutungo nito? Sa 3 taon pa na si Bongbong Marcos ang ating presidente. Kaya pa ba niya? Praning na siya eh. Kaya pa ba niya? Kaya pa ba niya na half of the Filipinos, according to a survey, are suffering from hunger or have experienced hunger? Kaya pa ba niya na more than 2 million Filipinos are unemployed? Kaya pa ba niya na wala ng foreign direct investments no matter how many times he goes abroad and pretends that he can attract foreign investments? Kaya pa ba ng mga Pilipino? Kaya pa ba natin to? Ang gutom? Ang kawalang saklolo pag baha? Lindol? Kaya pa ba natin na absentee ang ating presidente at hindi natin mapapagkatiwalaan? Kaya pa ba ni Bongbong Marcos ang susunod na 3 taon ng mga problema ng bansa? Ang tanong sa atin, sa mga Pilipino, kaya pa ba natin tiisin ito? Kaya pa ba ni Bongbong Marcos ang next 3 years kung ganyan ang state ng mental state niya, tsaka state of health niya, at tsaka state ng kanyang paranoia? Kaya pa ba niya in 3 years? What keeps him going, you think? No? Kung hindi talaga serve the people ang kanyang motto, what really keeps him going is self-gratification. Nakita mo naman yung taong lumaki sa Maragya, di ba? Wala nang kailangang magtrabaho or purpose in life, hindi ba? Kasi ang laki din naman ng pressure, no? Di ba? Tatay mo si Ferdinand Marcos, number 1 sa bar. Parang, di ba? Grabe naman pressure yun. Kaya ganyan yan si BBM. Ha? Ito na naman, sa psychiatrist na naman ako. Let's back to the figure, bro. Go back to the figures, ha? Tingnan nyo kung kaya pa to ni BBM. Foreign direct investments bagsak by 40.5% this year. So, ng 2022, net foreign direct investments, US dollars 9.2 billion. 2024, 8.93 billion. August 2025, todo bagsak, 494 million. Abay, kung negosyo ito sarado nyo na yung tindahan nyo. Sobra naman lugi ito. Ano ang foreign direct investment, di ba? Yun yung mga nagpapasok ng capital dito sa ating bansa na galing sa labas. O, example, yung mga gagawa ng mga factory dito. O kaya magtatayo ng mga hotel dito. Galing sa labas ng bansa ang mga kapital. 40.5% ang bagsak, halos kalahati. Bakit? Hindi ba klaro pa? Klaro na yan. Obvious na yan dahil sa corruption, which is already world famous na tayo. Mr. President, world famous ka na. This is the worst country sa corruption. Sa corruption index ngayon, rank 33 na ang Philippines. O, di ba? May valedictorian ka talaga, BBM. Rank 33 sa 100 countries, Top 33 sa corruption. Pero hindi lang yun. We are a poor country. We are a poor country, tapos mataas yung corruption, tapos yung mismong gumagawa ng budget natin, which is Congress, yung mismong magnanakaw sa flood control lang. Ang total ng mga infra at saka flood control, saka substandard na mga projects. Dahil sa kickbackan, di ba ang total nila is around 1.9 trillion? Oh, ang laki nun Kasi yung budget mo sa GAA is around 6 trillion for this year? Pero magkano doon ang binabayad mo sa utang? Dapat bayaran yung mga utang Hindi pwedeng hindi bayaran ng utang. Kasi pag hindi mo binayaran ng utang, hindi ka na makakautang uli. And that's Secretary Recto say, out of 2.7 trillion na uutangin natin this year, 2.6 trillion of that will go to the operations of the government. Abay, mangungutang pala kayo para lang isweldo nyo at papaanda rin tong gobyernong korap na ito. Abay, magsasara nga kayo. Tapos, mga tao, pababayarin nyo. Dagdag na naman ang tax. Government workers, employees are paying what? On the average, 32% flat. Yung mayayaman, nakaka-cover pa ngayon dahil sa korporasyon nila. Pero mga government employees, you cannot hide from the 32%. Tapos, nanakawin nyo lang. Hindi pa nangyari ito eh. Noon, kikickback din sila. I'm sure, di ba? Time ni Digong, time ni GMA, time ni Pinoy, nagkikickbackan din itong mga congressman na ito eh. Pero now, malala na sila. Unbridled, greed. Congress became a marketplace. That's what some Congress people told me. Imagine, you see them around. They're all walking around, visiting each other while the session is going on. What do you think they talk about? Whispering. Yung pala eh. Yung meron kang allocation dun sa 900,000. Biling ko na lang yan sa'yo. Bigyan na lang kita ng 10%. No sweat ka na. Tapos may contractor na siya na naghihintay dyan. Ito namang DPWH, bago pa mag-submit ng budget nila or National Expenditure Program sa DBM and Congress, naka-embed na ang 30% na kickbackan dyan. So, everything is overpriced. That's what Leandro Legarda also disclosed, di ba? And DBM knows that. The secretary knew that. Pero ano magagawa mo kung ang Speaker of the House ay pinsang buo ng presidente? And sabi ni Chavit Singson,
nung inimbita ko, Unity, akala ko lilinisin na lang pangalan nila. Hindi, nilampasan pa niya ang tatay niya eh.
Boy, nalamangan mo pa ang tatay mo. Bongga ka. Sa 27 years or so ng tatay mo, ganito lang ang nakuha niya. Ikaw, 3 taon pa lang. Bongga ka. Because the difference between Ferdinand Marcos then and Ferdinand Marcos Jr. now is Martin Luther King Romualdez. That's the difference. Because Bongbong is, is submissive. He's soft, in other words. Diba? Sabi nila mabait nga. Kasi, diba, he's parang meek. Diba? Sa English, meek. Here comes his first cousin who will promise him na ako ang backer mo. Ako ang kapitan, di ba? I will be your whip. O, di ba? So, that's the scenario. Happy naman si Bongbong because he doesn't have to lift a finger. Ang karakitan, ginawa na ni Martin Luther King. Kasama, of course, si Saldico at lahat ng mga congressman dyan at congresswomen na mga korap. Mga magnanakaw kayo. Ang sabi ni Vince Dizon, mga hayop.
Ito yung sinasabi ng ating Pangulo, na talagang ito, kahayupan na ito. Hindi tao itong mga taon to.
Kung sa Ilonggo pa, mga animal. Mga hurnal ka mo, mga wayhuya. Wala kayong hiya. Eh bakit naman sila mahiya? Naging parang merkado. Sabi nga ng isang friend ko, naging Olympic Games. Nung paramihan ng kurakot. Grabe, pabilisan ng proud pa sila. Kaya yung flood control projects, ghost. Kung meron man, substandard. What do you expect? 30% ba naman ang kickback? Siyempre, ang materyales, substandard. Ito, insertions. Di ba? Ang sabi ni Diskaya, ang mga insertions, bawat congressman na naglalagay ng insertion, may 5%. Abay, bongga. Kaya kayo insertion na insertion pala eh. Insertion ginagawa nila sa BICAM. Yung meeting ng Senate Finance Committee tsaka House of Representatives Finance Committee. May small committee din doon sa House of Reps. Tapos pagkatapos na pasa nila yung budget doon, aakyat na sa Senado. Tapos magba-bicameral conference na bago na ipasa ng final. Diyan, hindi pwedeng si Senator Grace po ay magsabing wala siyang kinalaman dyan.
Malaki talaga ang binabayad nating buwis at nakakagalit yung mga nangyayari. Kaya bato-bato sa langit talaga.
Kasi bakit si Saldico sa Appropriations Chair ng House of Representatives may kinalaman? Eh yung Senate Finance Committee Chair pa kaya? Sagutin niya. Kung hindi totoo, sagutin niya. Kasi nakakapaghinala eh. Dahil tumakbong party list ang anak niya. Kaya, yan ang problema sa political dynasty. Ang hirap talaga, gaya ni Bongbong at ni Martin. Gusto talaga till the end of time, yung mga anak nila, kamag-anak nila, lahat pipwesto. Para ano? Para ano? Not only for power, but for money. How much money? They don't care if you are hungry. They don't care if the poor do not get health care. They don't care if children die because they cannot have surgery in the Philippine General Hospital or the Heart Center. They don't care. If you don't have jobs, 2 million Filipinos are unemployed. They don't care. 14 million Filipino families are hungry. Bongbong and Martin do not care. They talk about giving away all these funds as if it's theirs. Diba? Kita nyo naman si Martin, no? Bongga pa. Yung parang, yay! Gaganon-ganon pa siya, di ba? Oh, 5,000 pesos! Ginawa pang rapol-rapol yung pera natin. Hayop kayo. Bayad kami ng bayad ng tax. Tapos ginaganyan nyo. Tapos pag nabuking kayo, masama pa kami. Politika lang kami. Politika, kaya kami ganyan. May pinapanigan kami. Tingnan mo. Nasaan si Martin Romualdez ngayon? Di ba? He's nowhere to be found. Anong klaseng investigation committee yan? Yung ICI? Nag-excuse me si Romualdez, pahayag naman sila. Ba, gusto pa pumunta sa ibang bansa, magpapagamot daw. Ano bang sakit mo? Sakit-sakatin ang kamay ang sakit mo eh. Eh, wala namang gamot dyan. Dito ka lang magpagamot, pwede na yan. Ngayon, mga kababayan, sino ang dapat managot? Yan ang tinatanong natin sa mga rally. Bakit hanggang ngayon wala pang mananagot? Kasi si Martin Romualdez ang tinutukoy na mastermind ni Zaldico. Kaya nila pinaalis si Zaldico. Ako, I believe Zaldico. Ako, I believe Gutesa kasi nag-corroborate sila ng statement ni Zaldico na nag-deliver sila ng pera, mali-maleta at ilang sasakyan na pera sa bahay ni Romualdez. At sabi ni Zaldico, sa bahay ni Bongbong Marcos mismo at sa Malacanang. Saka yung 100 billion in insertions, sabi ng mga tagapagtanggol ni BBM, bakit pa niya i-insertion yung 100 billion na yan dun sa BICAM? Eh, kayang-kaya na namang ipasok yun sa NEP. Yung senaryo ganito, tapos na yung NEP, na-realize niya, aba, wala pala siya. Sila lang kikita, siya hindi kikita. Oh, so kaya inutusan niya. Ngayon si DBM Secretary Amina, sabihin mo kay Zaldico, 100 billion sa akin, 25% kickback, 20 billion. Then Zaldi said that he asked the two undersecretaries in Malacanang if it's really the order of the president. And they said yes. And then he asked Martin Luther King Romualdez if this is true. And what did Martin Luther King Romualdez say? What the president wants, the president gets. Meaning he confirmed it. Zaldico, atchoy lang yun ni Romualdez. Tingnan mo naman yung tsura. Milyonaryo, bilyonaryo na kontraktor doon. Eh gusto pa ng more money, kaya nag-party list. Yan dapat yung anti-political dynasty law. Ipasa nyo na yan, Speaker D. Tsaka ako, gusto ko yung ginagawa mo. Kahit ikaw din, numero 1 ka rin may political dynasty dyan. Pero, nanggagaling sa'yo. Hindi ko lang alam anong itsura ng political dynasty law na yan. It is mangled to death. No? But, at least, it's a start, di ba? Dahil dyan, sa 2025 election na yan, kaya tayo ninanakawan ng todo nitong Martin Luther King at ng administration ni BBM. Kaya nagsalita na sila ngayon. Hindi natin i-excuse si Zaldico. Mananagot din siya. Pero naniniwala ba ako sa kanya? Yes, naniniwala ako sa kanya. And I hope that he stays alive and that there will be some way that he can testify. Ngayon ang sinasabi nila, bakit daw ginagawa ito ni Amy? Disclose the drug addiction of BBM. Masama siyang kapatid. Ang sinasabi nga ni Amy, uwi na tayo. Uwi na tayo. Hindi kita iwanan kagaya ng dati na when we were in exile, I took care of you as a parent. Pagamot ka na. Hindi ba, ako, I was really moved. When I saw her, she was crying when she was reading that. Kasi, alam naman natin na wala namang kakayahan talaga si Bongbong. Even when he was growing up, when they were in exile, si Amy talaga took care of her brother. For her to say that, it was really out of sisterly love. Ikaw naman kasi BBM eh. Kung ako, adik ako sa cocaine, bakit ako magpipresidente? Ano? Hello? Tapos lahat kayo titingin-tingin. Lagi kayong kung adik ba talaga ako o hindi. Ayan kasi. Sana hindi ka na nagpresidente. Eh di kahit anong gawin mo, wala kayong pakialam. Hindi ba? Nagpresidente ka. Lahat tumangad sa'yo. Sabihin nila, ito talaga tong Guansong wala nang karespeto-respeto. Oy, nung una kaya sa interview ko, sinabi ko, Mr. President, I hope you succeed because we are in the same boat. This is also my country and I want you to succeed. 3 years. Succeed ka dyan? Tourism kulelat. Functional literacy. Maawa na kayo, 8.9 million ng Pilipinos ang functionally illiterate. Lowest full year growth rate since 2020. Corruption index, number 33 out of 100. Foreign debt, 17.5 trillion. Pero ang flood control projects at mga infra projects, kung saan nagkikikbakan up to 30%, 1.9 trillion. Ang General Appropriations Act o budget natin ay nasa 6 trillion lamang. Mga kababayan, niloloko tayo nitong mga congressman natin at mga politiko at mga gahaman dyan sa DPWH. Nagtutulakan na sila ngayon. They're pointing fingers at each other. Sabi ng mga kontraktor, ano naman po magagawa namin? Hindi po kami makanegosyo kung hindi po kami papayag. Dinidisqualify kami. Sabi naman ng DPWH, ano naman po magagawa namin? Congressman po nagsasabi. Pero sa totoo lang, kahit yung ibang districts dyan, na walang kickback yung congressman or hindi nila kukunin yung kickback nila, DPWH officials yung nakikipag-transaction na dyan sa mga kontraktor. Bago pa yan lahat ipasok sa NEP, may kontraktor na yan. Igluloko nyo kami. Ngayon, booking na kayo lahat. What are you gonna do about it? Now, what is Bongbong Marcos, our president, going to do now? 3 years more. 3 years more. Kaya pa ba niya? Ganito na? Kalalim ang kautangan ng Pilipinas? Ang gutom ng mga Pilipino? At ngayon, kino-confirm ng kapatid niya mismo, Senator Amy Marcos, na siya ay cocaine addict. Kaya pa ba niya? Mga kababayan, kaya pa ba natin? Ako hindi ko na kaya. Kaya ako nagrarally. Sa tanda kong ito, ay nakikirally pa ako. Kasama ko kayo. Hindi tayo pwedeng huminto. Ang sinasabi nila, what now? I got a call from abroad. What happens now? I'm sure Bongbong Marcos also asking himself and his advisors, including Martin Luther, what happens now? What do I do now? You stay in power, but the people have no respect for you. You stay in power another 3 years, but the people do not trust you. I'm sure you saw how you were received coldly by the people in Cebu and Negros Occidental who suffered from the devastation of that recent typhoon. The people hate you. They don't like you. They don't trust you. How could you be president of a country, of a people who do not trust you anymore? And the only ones who keep on clapping for you are the ones who are profiting from you. Paldo na, mga congressman, paldo na. Bawat budget padded para sa mga kukurakutin nyo. What's next? President Bongbong Marcos is up to you. But this, I am certain, in the next 3 years, while you're in office, the protest rallies will continue. We will continue. We cannot stop criticizing this corrupt government because we have the future of our children to think about. Mga kababayan, di na po pwedeng manahimik lang tayo. Kailangan na po. Magprotesta po tayo na may mananagot at hindi na mauulit itong kakurapan sa ating gobyerno. May mananagot. Dapat may mananagot hanggang sa puno-punuhan nito. Ang pinaka-mastermind nito. At kung kasama ang ating presidente, dyan, sa mga insertion at kickback, ay dapat managot din siya. Sana, bumaba na lang siya sa pwesto. Dahil halata naman talaga na, kahit ano pang depensa niya, wala na pong naniniwala sa inyo. Mga kababayan, para po sa hinaharap, the future of our children, huwag po tayong tumigil ng pagsiyasat at pag-criticize sa kasamaan at korupsyon ng gobyerno ni Bongbong Marcos. Maraming salamat po. My name is Rowena Guanzon and we are proudly PGMN.